Welcome back, everyone. Today we finally got a brand new Season Pass character, Zara. I'm really excited because we're going to unlock her, check out all of her abilities, and see how good she actually is during gameplay instead of just reading what her perks say. This time, we'll also be testing Zara at 3 different levels instead of only using her at the maximum level. That way, we can see how she performs as you keep upgrading her and whether those upgrades really make a noticeable difference. So, let's not waste any more time, unlock Zara, and get straight into today's gameplay. There we go, Zara is finally unlocked. I'm really excited to try her out because this is our first gameplay with this brand new character. Before we jump into the run, let's quickly have a look at everything that comes with her. First, let's check out Zara's outfits. These are all the outfits available for her right now, and honestly, they look really nice. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Personally, I can't wait to unlock them in future videos and make dedicated gameplay with each one. But for today, let's focus on Zara herself and see what she's capable of during the gameplay. We've also unlocked the Halo Dash outfit. I decided to unlock it because it only costs 100 keys, and I thought it was definitely worth getting, since it doesn't require completing any extra missions or waiting for another event. I just went ahead and unlocked it right away so we could add another outfit to Zara's collection. These are the remaining outfits that are still left to unlock, and honestly, they all look really good, but the one that caught my attention the most is definitely the Supersonic outfit. I think it looks amazing, and I'm already excited to unlock it. To get the Supersonic outfit, we need to reach Tier 25 in the Season Pass. Once we reach that tier, we'll be able to claim it. And don't worry, I'll definitely make a dedicated gameplay with the Supersonic outfit as well. We'll test it, see how it looks during gameplay, and have another fun run with Zara. So stay tuned because there's still a lot more Zara content coming soon. Her first ability, Athletic Agility, gives us bonus score every time we jump over or slide under hurdles. At level 8, we're getting 80 bonus score for every successful hurdle interaction. Her second ability, Hurdle Looter, is also really interesting. Whenever we jump over or slide under hurdles, we can earn a coin sack. At level 8, we only need to interact with 5 hurdles before getting one, which honestly sounds pretty useful. Finally, we have Personal Best, which is Zara's passive ability. Every 30 seconds, we receive an extra 0.1 score multiplier, and this can keep increasing until it reaches a maximum of 2x. Now let's also talk about Zara's hoverboard, Pouncer. We haven't unlocked it yet, but we'll be able to get it for free by reaching stage 50 in the Season Pass. Once we unlock it, I'll definitely make a dedicated gameplay with it as well. Its special ability is called Hurdle Hopper. The ability is pretty simple. Whenever you jump over or slide under hurdles while riding the Pouncer hoverboard, you receive extra coins. The gameplay has officially started, and now it's finally time to see what Zara can really do. I'm honestly excited because this is our very first gameplay with her, and I have no idea how she'll perform over the next few minutes. We'll keep testing her abilities, see how often they activate, and find out whether she's worth upgrading further or not. While we continue the run, we'll keep talking about Zara, her abilities, and everything we noticed during the gameplay. So just sit back, enjoy the run, and let's see together how good this new character really is. And if you're new to the channel or you're enjoying this gameplay so far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I upload Subway Surfers City gameplay regularly, including character showcases, hoverboard tests, high score runs, coin farming videos, comparisons, guides, update videos, and much more. If that's the kind of content you enjoy, you're definitely in the right place. Also, turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads because we've got a lot more videos coming soon, including more Season Pass characters, hoverboard gameplays, combo tests, and tier lists. I'm really excited for everything that's coming, and I hope you are too. Now tell me in the comments, are you excited to see how Zara performs in this gameplay? What are your first impressions of her abilities? Do you think she'll surprise us, or do you think another character is still stronger? Let me know your thoughts, and let's continue the run. For now, we'll focus on collecting all 3 secret stars first. Once we've collected all of them, we won't have to worry about searching anymore, and we can fully concentrate on the gameplay and Zara's abilities. That's usually how I like to start these longer runs because it keeps everything organized from the beginning. After collecting all 3 secret stars, we'll continue playing normally for a while. During that time, we'll keep talking about Zara, how her abilities are performing, and whether she's living up to our expectations. We'll also pay attention to the score and see how quickly it's increasing with this combination. While the gameplay continues, you'll also be able to see how long we've been playing and how much score we've reached at different points in the run. That'll give us a much better idea of Zara's performance instead of only looking at the final result. So let's keep playing, collect those secret stars, and see how this gameplay turns out. One thing I've noticed so far is the amount of bonus score we're getting from athletic agility. Right now, every time we jump over or slide under a hurdle, we're getting around 3,700 bonus score. Honestly, it doesn't look like a huge number when you see it only once, but the important thing is that hurdles appear almost everywhere during the run. That means the ability keeps activating again and again without us having to change the way we play. Personally, I don't think 3,700 is an amazing amount on its own, but because hurdles are so common, I can definitely accept it. Every jump and every slide keeps adding more bonus score, and over a longer gameplay, all those small bonuses start adding up. Sometimes abilities don't need to give massive numbers every single time if they activate very frequently, and I think this is one of those cases. After we collect all 3 secret stars and increase our score multiplier, I think this bonus should go up to around 4,000 to 4,500 score for every hurdle interaction. That's a much better number, and since we'll continue crossing hurdles throughout the run, it'll keep contributing to the final score. So let's continue the gameplay and see how much difference these bonus points make over the next few minutes. Another ability I want to talk about is Personal Best. This one is actually very interesting because instead of activating from hurdles or another action, it keeps increasing automatically as long as you stay alive. Every 30 seconds, you gain an extra 0.1 score multiplier, and it keeps stacking until it reaches a maximum of 2x. If we calculate it, reaching the full 2x multiplier takes about 10 minutes of continuous gameplay without crashing. Personally, I think that's actually a fair amount of time because most long runs easily go beyond 10 minutes. Once you reach that maximum multiplier, every point you score after that becomes even more valuable. So the longer you survive, the stronger Personal Best becomes. You don't have to collect anything or perform any special action. It simply rewards you for staying alive and continuing the run. I really like abilities like this because they encourage longer gameplay, and for high-score runs, I think this passive ability can become one of Zara's biggest strengths. We've now collected all 3 secret stars, so that part of the gameplay is completely finished. From this point onwards, we can just enjoy the run and fully focus on Zara's abilities, the score, and how well she performs. Since we don't have to search for any more secret stars, it'll be much easier to judge this character based on normal gameplay instead of getting distracted by other objectives. After this gameplay, we'll upgrade Zara to level 11, check all of her upgraded abilities again, and then start another run with her. That's when we'll really find out if upgrading from level 8 to level 11 makes a noticeable difference or if the improvements are only small. I'm actually curious to see whether the extra upgrade materials are worth spending or not. By the end of this video, we'll have gameplay from different upgrade levels, making it much easier to compare Zara's overall performance. Instead of guessing, we'll have actual gameplay to look back on and decide which level gives the best value. I think that's a much better way to test new characters because many players don't upgrade them straight to the maximum level. And if you're still watching until this point, thank you so much. It really means a lot that you've stayed with me throughout the gameplay. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends who also play Subway Surfers City. Your support really helps the channel grow, and it motivates me to keep making more gameplay, character tests, hoverboard comparisons, and update videos for all of you. So we finally crashed, and with that we scored around 1.2 million. This is Zara's highest score so far, and now we have a proper result to compare with the next gameplay. It'll be interesting to see whether level 11 performs better, or if the difference is only small. Zara is now at level 11. You guys can take a look at the abilities on the screen and see what has improved compared to level 8. I'll let you read through them, and then we'll jump straight into the next gameplay to see how much of a difference those upgrades actually make during a real run. Let's get started. The gameplay has officially started with level 11 Zara, and now let's see if these upgrades make a noticeable difference compared to our previous run. We already have our level 8 results, so this gameplay should give us a much better idea of whether upgrading Zara is actually worth the extra materials or not. I'm really interested to see how everything feels during normal gameplay. Looking at her abilities, athletic agility has now been upgraded, and instead of giving 80 bonus score, it now gives 90 bonus score every time we jump over or slide under a hurdle. It might look like a small increase, but since hurdles appear throughout the entire run, this bonus will activate over and over again. Over a long gameplay, those extra points should slowly add up and give us a better overall score than before. Her second ability, Hurdle Looter, has also improved. Now we only need to interact with 4 hurdles before getting a coin sack. That's definitely a nice improvement, because we'll be collecting coin sacks more frequently than we did at level 8. Since jumping and sliding over hurdles is something we're already doing naturally, getting rewarded more often without changing our playstyle is always a good thing. Her third ability, Personal Best, stays exactly the same because it's a permanent passive ability. Every 30 seconds, it still increases our score multiplier by 0.1, all the way up to a maximum of 2x. Since this ability doesn't change with this upgrade, we'll mainly be paying attention to the improvements in the first 2 abilities and seeing whether they make a noticeable difference during this gameplay. So far, I think level 11 looks like a nice upgrade on paper. The bonus score has increased, coin sacks should appear more often, and the passive multiplier continues helping us during longer runs. Now let's continue playing and see if these improvements are actually noticeable during real gameplay, or if they only make a small difference in the final results. One thing I want all of you to keep in mind throughout this gameplay is the time difference between both runs. In the previous gameplay with level 8 Zara, we played for around 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's where we reached about 1.2 million score. For this gameplay with level 11, I'm only planning to play for around 6 minutes, which is roughly 30 seconds shorter. So when we compare the results later, please remember that both gameplays are not exactly the same length. Because of that, I don't want anyone to look only at the final score and immediately decide which level is better. A difference of 30 seconds gives us extra opportunities to collect points, interact with hurdles, collect coin sacks, and keep increasing the multiplier. That's why gameplay time always matters during comparisons. I wanted to keep both runs very close to each other so we can make a much fairer judgment instead of comparing completely different gameplay lengths. As we continue this run, don't focus only on the score counter. I also want you to watch how frequently Zara's abilities are helping us. Notice how often we're jumping over or sliding under hurdles, how smoothly everything flows, and whether the upgraded abilities feel more rewarding than they did during the previous gameplay. Sometimes the improvements aren't huge at first, but after a few minutes of continuous gameplay, they become much easier to notice. After we've collected all 3 secret stars, that's when I want you to pay the closest attention. Watch the bonus score we receive every time we jump over or slide under a hurdle. Compare those numbers with the previous gameplay and see whether the increase feels noticeable. Since the multiplier will already be higher by then, it'll be much easier to judge how much this upgrade is actually helping us. Another thing I'd like you to observe is the coin sacks. Since Hurdle Looter has improved at level 11, we should be getting coin sacks more frequently than before. We won't count every single one during the gameplay, but as you're watching, try to notice whether they appear more often. Small improvements like this can make a bigger difference than we expect during longer runs. Personally, I think comparisons like this are much more useful than simply maxing out a character straight away. Not everyone has enough resources to upgrade every new character to the highest level immediately. That's why I wanted to test different upgrade stages, so all of us can get a better idea of which levels actually give the best value before spending more resources. By the end of this gameplay, we'll have 2 runs that are very close in duration, making the comparison much more reliable. We'll compare the overall score, the hurdle bonus score, the coin sack frequency, and the overall gameplay experience. Looking at all those things together will give us a much better answer than just comparing one final score. We'll continue this gameplay for a little while longer, and after this run ends, we'll move on to the next comparison. The next gameplay will be with level 14 Zara, and I'm actually looking forward to that one because I've seen many players mention that level 14 is where they usually stop upgrading their characters. According to them, it's one of the best points to stop before the upgrade costs start becoming much higher. That's one of the reasons I wanted to include level 14 in this comparison. I want to see if it's really the sweet spot that many players talk about, or if the difference isn't as noticeable as people say. Instead of relying only on opinions, we'll test it ourselves through actual gameplay and compare the results with level 8 and level 11. So after this gameplay, we'll jump straight into level 14, check the upgraded abilities, and do another run with the same comparison. By the end of today's video, we'll have a much better idea of which upgrade level gives the best value for your resources. So we finished the level 11 gameplay and we scored around 1.1 million. That's actually a little lower than our level 8 run. But that's completely understandable because this gameplay was also a bit shorter. Now Zara is at level 14 and every upgradable ability is completely maxed out. Athletic Agility now gives the highest bonus score. Hurdle Looter now gives coin sacks after even fewer hurdle interactions. And Personal Best stays the same since it's a permanent passive ability. The level 14 gameplay has officially started, and this is the strongest version of Zara that we can currently use. Every upgradable ability has reached its maximum level, so after this there aren't any more ability upgrades left. I'm really excited for this run because this is the gameplay that many players have been waiting for. We'll finally get to see how Zara performs when she's completely upgraded and whether the extra resources spent to reach this level actually feel worthwhile. Let's start with Athletic Agility. This ability has now reached its highest level and gives us 100 bonus score every time we successfully jump over or slide under a hurdle. Compared to our previous gameplays, this is the highest value we can possibly get from this ability. Since hurdles appear almost everywhere during a normal run, we should be activating this ability constantly without changing our gameplay. It'll be interesting to see how much these extra points build up over several minutes. Next is Hurdle Looter, and this ability has also reached its maximum upgrade. Now we only need to interact with 3 hurdles before receiving a coin sack. Personally, I think this is one of the biggest improvements because hurdles appear so frequently throughout every district. That means coin sacks should start appearing much more regularly than they did in our previous gameplays. It'll be interesting to see how much this improves our overall coin collection by the end of the run. Then we have Personal Best, which stays exactly the same because it's Zara's permanent passive ability. Every 30 seconds, it increases our score multiplier by 0.1, and it continues doing that until it reaches a maximum of 2x. Even though this ability doesn't change at level 14, it's still an important part of Zara's kit because the longer we survive, the higher our multiplier becomes. That makes longer gameplays much more rewarding than shorter ones. This is the final gameplay of today's comparison because we're now using level 14 Zara, where every upgradable ability has reached its maximum level. After this, there aren't any more upgrades left for us to test. That's why I wanted to make this gameplay much longer than the previous 2. Instead of playing for around 6 minutes, we'll be playing for about 12 minutes so we can properly test Zara at her absolute maximum potential. The main reason for extending this gameplay is Personal Best. This passive ability increases our score multiplier by 0.1 every 30 seconds, and it keeps stacking until it reaches its maximum 2x multiplier. To fully activate that ability, we need to survive for about 10 minutes. Since our previous gameplays ended much earlier than that, we never got to see Zara at her full strength. This run will finally show us what happens once that passive ability is completely stacked. Another reason I wanted a longer gameplay is because longer runs always tell a better story. During short gameplays, some abilities don't have enough time to show their real value. But when you're playing for 10 to 12 minutes, every ability gets plenty of opportunities to activate. That makes this comparison much more meaningful because we're seeing Zara in a situation where every part of her kit has enough time to contribute. Of course, just like before, we'll collect all 3 secret stars before focusing completely on the gameplay. Collecting all 3 secret stars is really important because they increase our multiplier, allowing us to earn much more score throughout the rest of the run. I want Zara to perform under the best possible conditions so we can see her true scoring potential instead of limiting the comparison. Now let's talk about the multiplier because this is where things become really interesting. Once personal best reaches its maximum 2x multiplier, and while we're riding the hoverboard with its 3x multiplier, we'll reach a total of 15.5x multiplier. That's an incredibly high multiplier, and every point we earn during that time becomes much more valuable than at the start of the gameplay. Even when we're not riding the hoverboard, the multiplier is still very impressive. Without the hoverboard active, we'll have around 12.5x multiplier, which is already enough to make the score increase very quickly. Then, as soon as we activate the hoverboard again, the multiplier jumps back up to 15.5x, making those moments especially rewarding during the run. I'm also curious to see how quickly the score starts increasing once we finally reach that maximum multiplier. The beginning of the gameplay might feel similar to the previous runs, but after personal best reaches its limit, I think the scoring pace should become much faster. That's one of the biggest things I'll be watching during this gameplay because it'll show how valuable Zara's passive ability really is. Also remember that since we're using level 14 Zara, we'll always have a guaranteed 7.5x multiplier from Zara herself once everything is fully active. That's one of the biggest advantages of maxing her out because this multiplier stays with the character and keeps helping throughout the gameplay. When we combine that with the hoverboard multiplier, the total multiplier becomes even higher, making this the strongest version of Zara that we can currently test. This gameplay should also give us the clearest picture of Zara's overall performance. We've already tested level 8 and level 11, and now we're finally testing the strongest version possible. That means we'll be able to compare all 3 upgrade levels fairly and decide whether the extra resources needed to reach level 14 actually give a worthwhile improvement over the earlier levels. While you're watching, don't just focus on the score counter. Pay attention to how often we're collecting coin sacks, how frequently we're interacting with hurdles, and how smoothly the gameplay feels once every ability starts working together. Sometimes those details tell us much more about a character than the final score alone. By the end of this gameplay, we'll have completed the entire comparison from level 8 all the way to level 14. We'll look at all the results together, compare every upgrade stage, and decide which level offers the best overall value. I'm really excited to see the final outcome, and I hope you are too, because this should be the most interesting gameplay of the entire comparison. Also, I was thinking about making one more comparison by upgrading Zara to level 20. Personally, I feel like level 14 already gives us a really good idea of how strong she is because the remaining upgrades are mostly focused on increasing the multiplier. That's why I wasn't sure if making another gameplay would be necessary. But at the same time, I know many of you enjoy complete comparisons, so I thought I'd leave the decision to all of you instead of deciding on my own. If enough of you want to see a level 20 comparison, I'll definitely do it. I'll spend the resources, upgrade Zara all the way to the maximum level, and make another dedicated gameplay. That way, we'll be able to compare level 8, level 11, level 14, and level 20 side by side. I think that would give us the most complete comparison possible and help everyone decide which level is actually worth upgrading to. We're also getting very close to reaching the maximum 2x personal best multiplier. In just a few more minutes, the passive ability will be fully stacked, and then we'll finally be able to see Zara performing at her absolute best. That's the moment I've been waiting for throughout this entire gameplay because it'll show us the highest scoring potential that level 14 Zara can currently achieve. So let me know what you think in the comments. Should I make a level 20 Zara gameplay, or do you think level 14 is already enough for a proper comparison? I'd really like to hear your opinion before making the next video. And if you've watched until this point, comment Team Zara so I know you stayed with me until the end. I know that level 20 will give the highest multiplier because that's the maximum level Zara can reach. There's no question about that. But what I'm really interested in isn't the numbers themselves. I want to know whether all of you think those final upgrades are actually worth spending the extra resources on. That's why I always like testing different levels instead of assuming the highest level is automatically the best choice. Personally, I think comparisons like this are much more useful because they show what each upgrade level actually offers. Not everyone upgrades a new character to the maximum level on the first day, and not everyone has enough resources to do that either. That's why seeing level 8, level 11, and level 14 separately can help players decide where they want to stop upgrading. I think that's much more practical than only showing a maxed out character without any comparison. I'm also curious about another thing. Are you planning to unlock Zara right now, or are you willing to wait until she's available for credits a few months later? I know everyone has a different way of playing the game. Some players like collecting every new character as soon as they're released, while others are happy to wait and save their resources for something else. I'd really like to know which group you belong to and why you've made that choice. Maybe after watching this gameplay, your opinion has already changed. At the beginning, you might not have been interested in Zara, but after seeing all of her abilities and how she performs during an actual run, maybe you're thinking about unlocking her. Or maybe you're still not convinced and you'd rather spend your resources on another character. Whatever your opinion is, I'd genuinely like to hear it because everyone looks for different things in a character. Another question I have for all of you is whether you think Zara is mainly a high-score character, a coin-farming character, or a balanced character that can do both reasonably well. We've spent quite a bit of time testing her abilities now, so I think everyone watching has enough information to form their own opinion. It'll be interesting to see whether most of you agree or if everyone has completely different thoughts about her. With that, we've now completed 10 minutes of gameplay with Zara, and we've finally reached the maximum effect of her personal best ability. The passive ability is now fully stacked at 2x, which means we're now playing with Zara at her complete potential. This is exactly what I wanted to test because our previous gameplays ended before we could ever reach this point. Now we can finally see how she performs with every ability working at its maximum. Right now, while riding the hoverboard, we're sitting at a total of 15.5x multiplier, which is honestly a really impressive number. Every point we score from this moment onwards is worth much more than it was at the beginning of the run. This is probably the strongest version of Zara that most players will experience before considering level 20, so it's been really interesting to see how quickly the score has started increasing. We'll continue playing for just a little longer, around another couple of minutes, and then we'll wrap up this gameplay. I'll cut out the remaining part so we can move straight to the final results, compare all 3 upgrade levels, and talk about whether level 8, level 11, or level 14 gives the best value for your resources. After that, we'll finish the video with the complete comparison and my final thoughts. So we've finally crashed, and our final score is almost 4.4 million, which is honestly a really good result. We came very close to reaching 5 million, and considering this was a comparison video rather than a full high score attempt, I'm really happy with how the gameplay turned out. More importantly, we were able to test every upgrade level properly and collect enough information to make a fair comparison. If you've watched all the way until the end, thank you so much for your time and support. It really means a lot because this type of comparison takes much longer to record and edit than a normal gameplay. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.